Okay, so I hope you can see everything. I'm trying to do a little new arrangement. The camera's hanging from the light fixture above the table, so I hope you don't get any strange shadows, but if you do, I apologize. So I'm gonna try something new. This, if you can see, is a wooden board. So I got these at Michael's. They had their greatest sale of the year. And I got a 6-pack of these 6x6s for $10, $8. So decided I'd try it. I like how it's nice and squared edges. I didn't do anything but put a light buff of steel wool across the top of it and wipe it good and clean. In terms of my preparation so far, I mix my paint a little thicker than I normally do, only because I don't know what it's going to happen when I put it on the wood, and I want to make sure that the wood grain is covered up. So I did mix it a little bit thicker. So they're all about this consistency. This happens to be my white mixture. I have used, I'm not really happy with the way the, there's something that happened to my last pour. Where when I go to varnish it, it's not coming out right. I use a Minwax polyacrylic varnish and it looks great on the other pours. I didn't put any silicone in. I've washed it a couple times. It's not getting a good finish. So I'm going to finish up these metallics and then get rid of them. But I've got the Craft Smart Metallic Blue, Craft Smart Metallic Silver, and then the Craft Smart White Pearl. This one was my favorite in terms of the way it made cells without using any silicone. I'm also using some Liquitex Basic Brilliant Yellow Green just for some contrast in it. A little bit of white. And then I have got my own little mix of a turquoise. It is the Liquitex Turquoise. But I had some Liquitex Iridescent Medium, and I don't know if you can see the shimmer in it, but yeah, kind of love it. So I've got that. So all of them have been mixed. A little bit thicker, as I said, than I normally would, but yeah, going with it. So let's just try some. So I'm gonna try and do a ring pour. So I do want it to kind of, I'm gonna put a few more layers, but I like that green a lot. So I don't know if there's anyone watching who has any recommendations as to how to handle my lovely varnishing. What I ended up doing was using some spray satin, but I really like the high gloss finish that I get from the polyacrylic Minwax, and working through some brush strokes issues, not really issues, but oh golly. Just tweaking my application of that polyacrylic. Trying to find a happy place. I've got way too much paint in this. I'm going to have to pull out. I also picked up some very small 4-inch canvases. So I'm going to have to pick those up and throw some paint on them too. I've just gotten away from myself right now. So excited. It's been a couple days since I've poured. So yeah, days. And I'm like already hooked. I'm really just loving it. I thought about putting some black in, but I'm really just kind of liking the way these colors are looking together. I like the contrast of the green. I finish off the pearlized white. yeah, I've just really enjoyed doing this. It's very therapeutic and calming. Oh, if you notice, I've started labeling my stirrers so I'm not wasting stirrers. I label them so I know. And if I'm gonna add silicone to it, I'm not gonna use that stirrer again for the color. So trying to be, these were stirrers I've had since my daughter was 5. So for 14 years, 14 years ago, I ran a summer camp. And one of the crafts we did, these were left over at the end, and wasn't even enough to store. It's going to take up more closet space and cupboard space to store it than it was to take it home. I have a walk-in closet that I've converted into my craft room. Some people call it my crap room. It's where I put all my, went to IKEA, went a little crazy about some IKEA shelving and painted it. Have a rolling cart that I can pull out when I need more space. So they ended up shoved in a corner in there and waiting for the perfect time. I think I'm gonna skosh more of the iridescent and then scrape out the bottom of the blue and then put a skosh of the white in. Grab myself the small canvas to do with the extra paint from this cup. Once I feel like I've had enough on this one, and then pour onto the other one. Looks like I put a ton of that lime green in the base. Alright. Pop this through and then I'll get to pouring that. So I'll do this one, just canvas one. I like the artist edge on that one. So I tend to raise the edges of my pieces up using push pins. So I flip them over and do a push pin thumbtack because this one's so small. Now, I thought I was going to be able to get away with not squirting the back of the canvas, but I am going to need to squirt the back of this canvas very quickly. So I apologize that you're just hearing my voice and seeing a cup sitting in the middle, but it is what it is, right? So again, what I've done is spray the back of the canvas. Yeah, it looks all damp now, right now, but it already kind of tightened up on me. And as it dries, that'll help out a lot. Okay. So, looks like we are ready to pour. Let me put on my pouring gloves. Again, I'm trying to be very conscientious. I recycle my gloves. Fun part is having to blow them out so that I can put my fingers in. My good friend Alethea will be pleased that I'm not putting these in the trash. So I'm a math teacher, and I was an art education major in college, but I would like to consider myself a professional crafter. And most of the time, I do it for my own pleasure. I'm considering avenues for selling some of the pieces, but right now I'm just doing it because I like it. All right. I'm not going to flood this canvas. I'm not going to do the corners. I should wipe that off better. Mostly because I've got so much paint. If I can't fill this canvas or this block, we've got a problem. Houston, we have a problem. Okay. Just don't want any fine edges. So again, I've got solid wood. I just put push pins on it so that I have some finger space. I'm going to try and pour from high and slow. And here we go. Oh yeah, plenty of paint. So you can see it kind of already moving around in here. I'm gonna pour that on the other canvas in a second. Let's kind of so I'm trying to give it a break so that I get more control. You know, I saw one YouTube post where the artist made kind of like walls out of cardboard to kind of block the paint from going over the corners. And I've considered that. Oh, there it goes. All right, let's just go with it. But I kind of like the fact that it goes over and through and around and down. And sorry if I'm blocking your view. See if I can get it. Well, I do like the colors, and I like the streaking that is occurring. There's not a whole lot of contrast, so I kind of want to leave that blue on there. So I am going to do a fill-in pour with some white on that edge. And I wouldn't normally, but I really like that blue contrast, and especially since it's so kind of muted over here, I don't want to, I'm going to pour off more and kind of pull the white in. Oh yeah. Sorry if I'm getting out of the screen area. I think I'm going to pull out the hairdryer in a minute, get some more directional. So right now I'm just trying to make sure because this is wood and not canvas, just get my corners, make sure that they're good and covered. Really liking that line across, and there's really some nice color here. I'm going to hit it with the hairdryer. I haven't invested yet in a blowtorch or creme brulee gun yet, but trust me, that is on my Christmas list for myself. I'll be over this by that time, and probably money well saved. I loved several more of those bubbles that kind of popped up in the course of the drying it, and really just trying to use the air more so than anything else to force some of those bubbles to kind of pop up. And so there are some nice, pretty cells. Oh, this is very slippery on the bottom. But I'm really pleased with my coverage. Ooh, lost mine. Except for across the back there. And I just scooshed it. So. No. I take my paint scraps into my school's art teacher, and she uses them with the kids for kind of add-ins to other art projects. So nothing is getting wasted here. Let's get the rest of this corner. A little bit more on that edge that I need to hit real quick. That needs to be white. find a clean finger. Good. Okay. So that's pour number 1 with the paint cup, and let's see how pour number 2, same paints, end up looking different. You know, so I peel these, I peel the paint sticker, column paint stickers. I stole that from Gina DeLuca, but so I peel these off and give them into this roll. But it's interesting. Oh, see how that's much firmer? Oh, so glad I did that. I'm half tempted one day to just stick a canvas over upside down on one top of one and see where it goes. All right, I don't know what I'm gonna do here. I think I'm just gonna go crazy. Love the way that looks inside. Okay. Yeah, so much extra paint here. All right, let's get all of my corners. Kind of like that pattern. I'm trying to save that. Well, I'm already telling right now that I don't like these little canvases because I don't like the way it comes off the edge. Or I just suck at pouring, which could be it. So these corners are just not hitting as pretty as I'm used to having, so and sides, these sides are like other than the fact that that was a really messy pour. Oh, look at those bubbles starting to pop up. And I feel like that line of green, it's good, but I need it to be more, I don't know, it's too fat. So yeah, I'm gonna do it. I can hear people screaming, no! I can hear myself screaming, no! So I think I'm going to hit it with the dryer instead. I do like the variation in the colors, the striations I got on those sides. If I can just get that line of green a little bit tweaked, we should be good to go with this one. Grab the straw, actually hit it with a straw. See if I can directionally blow some texture into that line. Oh, that looks good. Sorry if my head is in the way. So much liking that better though. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So much happier with that piece. So teenager has entered, and I'm sure she's laughing at my apparatus that I've got hanging the camera above.
Oh, by the way, the garage door was open.
I know. Drying paints.
Oh, do you want me to open it?
Yeah.
Alright. What do I want to put this?
Alright, I think that one is done number 2, so...
Done 2 already?
And I still have a little bit of paint left in that.
Oh, jeez.
So... I'll show you some close-ups in a little bit. Okay, close-up on number 1. So you can see I'm trying to avoid the glare. Some really big cells there. Really like the difference, variation in color. Sorry you're getting my shadow. Like the texture over there in that corner. So, very subtle. Lots of good cells. I like the contrast. Looks kind of like a worm-eaten log. And then there's number 2. You can see how the sides are very, very thick on this.